Hello, everybody. This is the Beef and the Deuce podcast on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe and like if you like us. Also, check us out on X. Got a lot of stuff going on there on X. Looking forward to the first of the year for the bowl games, and then right now it's pretty much playoff bound for the NFL. Beef, what you got?
There's a whole lot of football going on. It's been quite the last week or so. It's football every day, multiple games a day.
Yeah.
Bowl games have been good.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's CFP week.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been forever, but we're back at it.
Yep. Do you want to? Well, I'm not going to bring up the Cowboys.
Yeah, let's not do that. It was just bad. It's just all bad.
Of course, you could bring up the Browns, and they scored a massive 3 points again. Wow.
Did great.
God. Hey, they held them to 20, right? So
What's that?
They held their opponent to 20 points, so that's pretty.
Yes, they did great. Good job, defense.
So, so does Miami have a shot anymore? Are they still in it technically?
I think technically they're done.
Okay. So
just because I think with Denver, Cincinnati, and I can't remember if they might still be in it because the Colts lost.
Yeah.
So they may theoretically have a chance.
Yeah, I don't know who has the tiebreaker on that. Okay, well let's talk about the Steelers. Of course, they're playing the Bengals next week. Bengals have to win. They're 8-8. Steelers are in, but man, they're in a funk right now. No offense. The last 3 games, and then of course earlier to the Browns, a loss. What's going on there?
Well, I know we talked about the schedule going into this stretch was
brutal.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
But however,
however, the defense hasn't played well,
right?
Which is a huge downfall for them because traditional Steelers teams are strong defense, strong rushing attack, and then obviously Big Ben is Big Ben.
Right.
But now, like with Russell Wilson, they're
not scoring points lately.
Yeah, it's a complete opposite of what he was doing.
Yeah, he was hot.
Now he's had games where they've put up, a good amount of points, but it's like this last game, like where'd y'all go?
Yeah,
I felt like the offense just disappeared.
Yeah.
Defense again not playing well. Rushing attack is slim to none. But then again, you go back to the schedule, like the Chiefs are on fire, regardless of how they win, whether it's close game, blowout, whatever. Like they're obviously winning.
Yeah.
But and then it doesn't get any easier with a hot Bengals team.
Yeah, the Bengals
next
are motivated.
Week.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's playing lights out, probably one of the best seasons of his career.
It's amazing. So, what's your take on this game? I think the Bengals can definitely win this game.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Although their defense,
I'd say by a mile.
Oh, you don't even think it's going to be close?
If the Steelers' offense is going to continue to do what they're doing, there's no shot in hell that they're going to be able to put up points.
Even with a really bad Bengals defense?
Yeah, I mean they haven't proven otherwise to me.
Yeah, well,
and I get like Mike Tomlin's got to do something because if you leak into the playoffs as a 7 seed or a 6 seed or whatever, you're just going to get absolutely just taken to town.
Yeah,
and it's not even worth getting into the playoffs at that point.
Yeah,
at least want to put up a fight, and I don't feel like they're really putting up a fight in any game.
Yeah.
Something's out of whack with Russ. Something's out of whack with the rushing attack. I mean, I know George Pickens has been ouchie, so that has a lot to do with the rushing attack or the passing attack. But you've got to have something else. Like, not one player should just absolutely decimate your offense.
Right.
Especially when Russ has been slinging. But yeah, I don't have a lot of faith.
It seems like if you're looking at a Steelers highlight reel the last couple of weeks, it's Russ scrambling, Russ getting the first down, and some good throws, but it's basically Russ throws and Russ scrambles. And that's it.
Yeah, and it's ugly.
Yeah.
It's ugly. I mean, they haven't broken 20 points since the Bengals game earlier this month.
Really?
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that was their last prolific offensive game. I was in rush through for 400 something yards.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing that, but luckily for them, this game is at home, so it's hard to play in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But
it's Burrow.
Yeah, and the last 2 games, your offense has been bad. Your defense just got torched 3 weeks in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the Bengals are hot. Joey Burrow's on a whole other playing field.
Yeah, I don't think they can win in a shootout with the Bengals. I just don't think they have.
Absolutely not. No chance in hell.
I mean,
they have to make the game super ugly. Now, what's going to be interesting is if the Bengals don't have Chase Brown. If his high ankle sprain is legitimate, that's massive for them in that offense.
Yeah, that's true, man. Even with their passing attack. I mean, with
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's obviously a lot harder to win when your star running back, who kind of came out the last half of the season, once Zach Moss went down. I mean, that changed your entire offense. You have a dual threat back who can catch the ball in the backfield really well, runs between the tackles well, and has given your offense a chance to not just put all the weight on Burrow. You're able to give this dude 20 to 25 touches a game, and he does. He produces over 100-plus yards a game, it seems like.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's huge for them. So if he's out, that kind of changes my outlook on it. Game-wise for them, I think it's going to be a lot closer if he doesn't play. I do think the Bengals squeak it out.
Okay. I don't know. I think Bengals. I think they just put it on the Steelers offensively. I don't know. I just think that Burrow's just on a mission.
Yeah, an angry and a hot Joe Burrow. Yeah, no thanks, man.
Yeah.
I think I'll pass.
And if anybody can play in Pittsburgh, it's an AFC North team, and so it's not like Miami coming in and playing the Steelers or something. It's
well, and the Steelers put up 40-something points the last go around, and I kind of feel like there's a little bit of payback due for Pittsburgh for that game. So
yeah, no doubt.
We'll see.
Broncos, if they win, they're in. It looks like, of course, the Chiefs have the number 1 seed. Do you think the Chiefs are just going to bench their starters and?
Everyone's sitting.
Make it easy for the Broncos to win.
Yeah, and that's kind of the downfall of this whole last week is Chiefs clinched with their win officially on Christmas, so that kind of eliminates the Bengals per se.
Well,
if that ends up being the case.
Yeah, if the Broncos win, then the Bengals are out. Yeah. So, I don't think that the Dolphins. I don't know. They could be 9-8, depending on who they beat next week. I don't know. I forget who they're playing, but they're 8-8 now. I think beat the Browns. So I think that's it. If the Broncos get in, I think that's it, isn't it? All 7 teams are.
Yeah, I think it depends on what the Broncos do.
Yeah. If the Broncos lose, then it's going to be a tiebreaker time.
Yeah, because the Dolphins go to New York. They play the Jets. They'll probably win that. They'll probably win that game. Yeah, obviously, because if nobody saw this last game with the Jets against Buffalo, it was an embarrassment.
Yeah. So let's see here. Miami wins, Broncos. Then it's basically a tiebreaker between if the Bengals win and the Broncos would lose. So then the Broncos would be 9-8, Bengals 9-8, and then the Miami 9-8, right? Yeah. I don't know who the tiebreaker is.
And then for there, it goes like straight to schedule and like all this other stuff.
Yeah.
The tiebreakers get a little wild.
I know the CBS predictions were like the odds of Miami getting in, even at that, is really low. From a time.
Oh yeah, it's almost impossible, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I think either the Bengals or I don't know. I think the Broncos are going to win it because the Chiefs will just be on autopilot.
Mm-hmm. As they should be. I mean, I'm sure Patrick's still banged up.
Yeah.
Defense is a little banged up. Rushing attack looked real flat this last go around, so I'm sure a week off of
and yet
just decompressing is huge.
And yet they won the game, didn't they?
And they still absolutely decimated the Steelers.
Anyway, so
Merry Christmas to Russell Wilson.
So we have the Commanders, who, if they win, they're in. They'll be 11 and 5. 11 and 5. No, 11 and 6. Well, they're 10 and 5 now. They're playing the Falcons, who are 9 and 7. And then the Bucks are 9 and 7, and they're playing the Saints. So you would think that the Bucks would beat the Saints. You would think that. But the more often at the times when I think these things, I'm absolutely wrong. So what's your take on these things, this combination? Because these are the teams: Commanders, Falcons, Bucks. I mean, Falcons or the Bucks or the Falcons. One of those two are going to get in as division champions, obviously. But do they get in as one of them gets in as a wild card over the Commanders? I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think Commanders probably win this game tonight, go 11 and 5, and then from there they're in.
Yeah, if they're win.
So I think if they win today, they're obviously good. Next week they play Dallas. They should absolutely destroy us.
Yeah,
because we're just atrocious.
So then,
but God, the Bucks look so damn good today.
They did.
They looked really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. And
it's kind of crazy to think that, like, Baker isn't really mentioned in the MVP conversation.
Well, but you're 9 and, you're
9 and 7, but he has almost 40 touchdown passes. 15 picks is a little much, but he's thrown for almost 4,300 yards.
Right.
Without him, that team is nothing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Who is in the, pardon me, who's in the MVP conversation then?
I mean, right now it's Josh Allen,
right?
Saquon,
right.
Lamar.
Right.
Lamar definitely helped his case with this last game of just absolutely destroying Houston, which was shocking to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a two-headed monster right now. I personally think it's between Josh and Lamar, and Barkley sadly is the outside looking in, which is crazy to me. This guy's just rushed for over 2,000 yards today.
Yeah.
And
one more game to go.
Yeah, he's on the verge of. I don't think he's going to break Dickerson's record, but yeah, it's crazy though. Just absolutely nuts.
And these guys can't get money. He can't get the dollars.
No, absolutely not.
Anyway, so who's your take then on not Burrow then, because of the Bengals just not doing well?
It's crazy to think that that he can't be in it, and he's not being talked about enough. But week in and week out, you're talking about his stat line, but he's not in the conversation because of his record, because of the team's record, I should say.
Right.
I mean, I get Josh Allen's played great. Josh Allen's played absolutely phenomenal this whole season. But Burrow's stat line for the season is unfreaking believable.
But doesn't Allen give you a little bit more than Burrow does from a mobile quarterback point of view?
Yeah, I mean, he's got, 500 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. That's awesome.
Yeah.
About almost 3,600 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, 6 picks. Okay. That's obviously pretty damn good.
Okay.
And then we go to Joey. We'll pull up Joey's stat line here. Almost 4,700 yards passing. God. 42 touchdowns to 8 picks.
Wow.
And he has 2 rushing touchdowns for 202 yards.
Yeah.
So he has 44 touchdowns responsible for. He's on the verge of possible. I mean, it's not going to happen, but you're looking at a quarterback that could throw for 50 touchdowns.
And 5,000 yards.
Close to. That's insane. You haven't seen that since Brady.
Yeah, I guess.
Like Brady, Randy Moss era-ish.
And 5,000.
So
yeah.
I can't recall if Peyton did 50 touchdowns, but I want to say Brady did 50. Because Randy Moss and him connected for like 20 something. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
But that's crazy that Burrow's not talked about, and it's solely because of the team, because of the defense being absolutely atrocious, and he's out here just balling on his own. Him, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown.
Right.
I mean that if they can keep those 4 together, good luck. Good luck.
And they've got to get a defense, though.
Yeah, this is true, but that's what the draft's for.
Yeah. So
Just ask the Browns.
I'm not going to ask the Browns anything. Oh, I guess
they need to stop.
They renegotiated his Mr. $230 million guaranteed contract.
He's such a team player, I tell you.
I know. He's devoted to the team, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I love it. He's doing so good.
Good. So, someone was saying that the top 2 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL are going to be Brady and Mahomes, with Montana on 3rd.
Really?
That was one person's speculation, and they said it's not going to take people as many championships to say that Mahomes is better than Brady.
Jesus. I don't know about all that. Mahomes is good, but I think people tend to forget how good Brady was in his prime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brady in his prime was insane. And then his Super Bowl year with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, yeah.
You couldn't stop him.
Yeah. Was he as good, though, as sort of improvising that it seems like Mahomes is, just flinging it out of nowhere?
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know if this contributes to just being better, but I feel like people on the opposing side of the ball feared Tom Brady. Coaching staffs feared Tom Brady. I think Mahomes is getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's as much intimidation. And Tom Brady was intense as shit on the field. Like if
yeah.
I mean, there's little clips and stuff that you see throughout the years of him just getting into people's faces, doing his thing on the field, shit talking to everybody. Like that's confidence and that's intimidation. Nobody wants to go, especially if it's in playoff time. You can't tell me those teams on the opposing side of the ball are like, great, we have to play Tom freaking Brady.
But who wants to play Mahomes?
What's that?
Who wants to play Mahomes in Kansas City?
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, like, he's getting to that point. He's getting that aura of Brady-esque.
But does he have to break Brady's 7-ring record to be better than Brady?
That's what I think.
Really? He's going to have to go 8 championships?
That's what I would. I feel like that's the. I feel like that's the only way for him to do that, because Brady also has the passing yards record too.
Yeah, yeah.
80 something thousand yards, like that's.
Yeah.
Mahomes has to play a long freaking time to get that.
Yeah, well, there's a good chance he will, but Brady's like Jack Nicklaus. Really? You think you're going to beat that record? Go for it. No, you're not. Tiger Woods didn't do it. If Tiger Woods can't do it, who's going to do it?
Exactly. And I don't think Mahomes will get to that stat line, that hardware.
Really? Even if they three-peat?
I feel like after say like Aaron Rodgers, for example. Aaron Rodgers has been in the league 20-something years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of players doing that anymore. I feel like that's such an old school way. I feel like you get your prime years in, and then you're done. You don't see a lot of older style players anymore like you did with Tom. Obviously now with Aaron Rodgers. Phillip Rivers played for a very long time.
What makes them
I don't feel
old
like you
style?
see that.
What makes them old style?
It's a good question.
Well,
outside of age, I don't.
you mentioned it, so I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I want to say outside of age, maybe it's more just traditional quarterback style, like more
Stand in the pocket.
like more pocket passing, not a ton of razzle dazzle stuff like that.
But who are the best? Who are the best quarterbacks? Tom Brady's a pocket passer.
Yep.
All the greats are pocket passers.
Yeah,
Right?
Peyton Manning, nice little pocket passer.
Montana?
Joe Montana.
Yeah, pocket passer. I mean, so everybody says, "Well, it's going to be Lamar. It's the new breed of passer," and yet it always comes back to those guys who can stand in the pocket and launch the ball.
Yeah, I feel like that's more scary than Mahomes scrambling out of the pocket. You give Tom Brady, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, and any of these like traditional pocket passers time, they're going to pick you apart.
Yeah,
Absolutely pick you apart.
right. But they also have the ability.
So-
They also have the ability to lead the team.
Yeah, and
Right.
I think Mahomes definitely has. He has the leadership. He's got the skill. Obviously, he's got the hardware to start. But Tom Brady was just a whole other beast. Just outright whole other beast. Just a very. It was almost like he was basic, but mentally he wasn't. He was just very smart,
Right.
very aware. Mechanics were perfect,
Right.
and he just knew how to win. He had that clutch gene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's hard to say that Mahomes is, better than him. Yeah, Mahomes has 3 rings. That's a very, very good career.
Yeah.
But to be the best, you have to beat the best.
Right.
It's going to be very hard to beat what Tom has done in his 20-plus year career.
So if Mahomes stays around 20 years, you don't think he'll still beat Brady?
Rings-wise, I don't think so. Maybe stats-wise. Maybe he could get over the 80, but I don't know if he'll get 8 rings.
Even with Reed?
Yeah, even with Reed, I don't think he gets 8.
Who's a better coaching combo, him and Reed or Brady and Belichick?
I think a lot of it was Brady. So if you're going best duo combined, I think Andy Reid and Mahomes have something more special.
Mm-hmm.
I think Belichick benefited from Tom being Tom Brady.
Yeah, well, yeah. but you've got
because you've got an offensive-minded head coach with Andy Reid, and the talent of Patrick Mahomes. You blend that together. That's obviously like what we're seeing now. It's pure magic, honestly.
But some of those Patriot teams won on defense. They won Super Bowls on the fact that they could stop the opponent.
Yep. Especially early on in Brady's career, it was defense, and then Brady got his boys. He's got his Wes Welker, his Julian Edelman.
But who got him for
his
him?
Gronk.
Who got him for him?
Yeah, this is also true.
Yeah.
Kraft got him. Belichick got him. But it's hard for me to also say that because I feel like Mahomes could probably do it without Andy Reid, skill set wise, and I think Brady could have done it without Belichick too, which is why I think it's more player than it is coach. Yeah, like coaches like make the draft picks, and that's obviously super helpful. But at the end of the day, like Belichick's not throwing the ball for Brady. Brady's making these decisions. Brady's doing what Brady did, and Mahomes is carrying out what Andy Reid is basically telling him. So it's partial, but it's not the whole thing. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. You seem to be ignoring the defensive side. Maybe it's just because you're talking about quarterbacks, but I mean, these guys didn't win everything on their own. I mean,
no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Especially like I said, Brady's earlier career. Yeah, those defenses were one of the best in history. And then obviously Kansas City's is
very good.
I would say defense is more average, so it's more offensive based. I feel like with these 3 wins, for Mahomes' 3 Super Bowls, I should say. But yeah, Brady was very fortunate.
Would the 49ers agree with you last year, where they say it's all Mahomes?
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, it's an honest answer.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the
Possibly.
Chiefs okay.
I mean, the Niners were on the verge of beating them.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And they probably should have.
And
They
yet,
probably should have.
they did not.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so tough with especially a game like that, especially if your defense plays well all season and then you kind of shit the bed, so to speak, in the biggest game of the year.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
If the Chiefs win it this year, is this like the most improbable team to win it? Because all during this year, people are like, well, the Chiefs are good, but they're not, and then they just keep winning, and everyone goes, well, yeah, they're good, but they're not the, and yet they just keep winning football games miraculously somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so. I would say they would be, because there's a lot of doubt. Even though they're a one-loss team, there's still doubt. Because the offense isn't what it used to be. The defense isn't what it used to be.
Yes, they've only lost 1 game so far.
But they've lost 1 game.
Yeah.
And the wins that they have, there's 1-score games, whatever. But it's football.
Yeah.
Those are the games that make or break you, and they've been fortunate enough to win said games, which definitely pays off when you get into January and early February.
But don't the championship teams win the 1-score games?
Yep. That's what differentiates the good from the great.
Yeah. I mean, you can beat Cleveland all day long if you want, but
yeah. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to
play somebody else. It's better than that.
Yeah. So last year was the perfect example with the Niners and the Chiefs. They weren't great. They were good, but they weren't great.
But on paper, wouldn't you say the Niners last year had better personnel than the Chiefs last year?
Well, personnel-wise, yes, the Niners were
outstanding.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
The Chiefs just have this guy named Patrick Mahomes.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So you're taking the Commanders to win, they're in, and you're probably going Bucks to win the division, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the Bucks being as hot as they are right now, it's probably theirs for the taking. Nobody really knows what Penix is going to do, even though you've only seen 1 game out of him. But Falcons are kind of a mess.
They are.
Kind of a mess, especially benching Cousins. That's ballsy.
Yeah. So let's talk a little college football here. Is it worth talking about the fact that Iowa State beat Miami in a shootout? I'm like, whoa. I'm sorry, Iowa State? Yeah, Iowa State beat Miami in a shootout, 42 I mean, Miami scoring 41 points is not a surprise, but Iowa State, 42? It just shows that Miami doesn't have a defense?
Yeah, I expected pretty heavy scoring, obviously.
Okay. I don't think Iowa State would do that much.
They put up decent points most of the season.
Okay.
So I didn't think – I thought passing-wise they put up good numbers. rushing attack wise, they put up good numbers because again, Miami's defense is, as we all know,
Sucks.
atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very bad.
Yep.
The more surprising thing I thought was Cam Ward breaking, his record or breaking the record, and then just benching himself. Just like, oh, I'm good. I'm gonna sit the second half. I'm good. I don't care about this team. Like what?
Yeah.
Like that's what? I've never heard of something like that. Like I was very, very surprised to see that. So I don't know if that's just how it's gonna be, or
Well, he doesn't want to. He want to get ready for the draft, right?
apparently. But I feel like if I'm an NFL franchise and I'm looking to get a quarterback, and I see that doesn't look good at all.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong?
No. But I think things that you do in the college game don't translate a lot to the professional game. As far as
Okay.
I think a lot of like some disciplinary action, some this problem and that problem. I think a lot of times the pros just don't give a rip.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I don't know. He'll probably get what? The rookie contract, but he'll get hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So he has to play.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's Anthony Richardson and comes out of the game, right?
Yeah. I'm tired. My ribs hurt.
I'm a little tired. You're too tired.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the people that didn't play for Ohio State last year in the bowl game.
Yeah, but I feel like that's different though. Like you chose to not play the game in its entirety. Like, cool, that's fine. You have every right to do so. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Yeah, well.
But I feel like it's different when you play the first half. You throw your 3 touchdowns in the first half. You're giving your team a chance to win.
Mm-hmm. And
then you just bench yourself like, I'm done. Like, I cared about breaking this record for myself, and that's it. Like, I feel like this is super selfish and kind of shitty.
But isn't that what we live in nowadays with NIL and transfer portals and
I mean, it is a super, super selfish sport now, which is...
I mean, that Northwestern fellow that was going to go to Ohio State decided, no, I'm going to go to LSU or somewhere now, or somewhere.
Yeah, and then Penn State's backup quarterback says, "Nah, I'm not going to sit with you guys at the CFP. I'm good."
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a culture thing or if it is just a personal thing, but yeah, just that out of that game, it was a fun game, exciting game. It's just kind of like, well, this game meant a lot to, the other guys playing. And you just said, "Meh, I'm okay, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and just hang out." Like, okay, dude. So I don't know if that's going to hurt his draft stock or people don't really give a crap about it, but
I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I took away from it.
I don't like it either, but I don't know if the pros really care. I don't know. All right, we'll find out, right?
Yeah, we'll see when the Browns draft him.
So who do you think's the number 1 quarterback in the draft coming up? Him?
I still think it's Shadur. I think Sanders has that by a little bit. But I think Cam Ward's probably right behind him. I think it's close.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sanders is the better, like, pure pocket passer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a lot closer than I expected because Cam puts up yards rapidly.
Yeah.
He's got a good arm. He's accurate. And I feel like Sanders he's got his name that benefits him, obviously, which doesn't translate to being better or not. But I think name-wise, name recognition's big for him in that draft. So everyone obviously knows him.
Right.
But he was in a very, again, pass-heavy offense that put up a lot of points. And teams saw what he could do with just one receiver. So if he goes to a decent program or a decent franchise that has a star receiver like the Giants, for example, who have Malik Neighbors, the possibilities are endless with that. So I think the the duo of him and Travis Hunter is going to benefit him personally. And Cam Ward, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little indifferent with.
Yeah, you're not a huge Cam Ward fan.
I'm not. I can't really put my finger on it. I just think he benefited a lot, and I'm not saying Sanders didn't either. He benefited a lot from being on the field all the time because their defense was just so bad. And Colorado's wasn't any good either, but we didn't see a ton of super high-scoring games when Colorado played whoever. Miami was always either coming from behind from like 14 down, or they're winning the game by like the score of 50-49 or something crazy. So that's kind of it's not stat padding, but it kind of is. But it's not his fault. So I don't know. Maybe when it comes to draft time, I'll be completely wrong like we always are. But
do you think he would have sat down if he was in the CFP?
No, he would have played it. He would have played out for sure. So I mean, I don't like you're not playing for much. You're already solidified as a top 3 quarterback in this draft. So you're not proving anything to anybody by playing a 2-loss Iowa State in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. But I don't know. It was just weird to me. Like character-wise, that's kind of strange.
Yeah. What about USC?
But I would not. If you would have told me USC is going to come back and beat a team that was on the verge of playing for the SEC championship, I would have said you're full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they did it. Big Ten did it. I'm shocked.
I tell you what. I think my analogy. What? Navy beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat Alabama. So where's your?
Who would have thought?
Where's your strength of schedule now, Alabama?
Yeah. Hey, Bama.
Bama. You lost 3 games because you lost 3 games. Yeah.
Yep. And Lincoln Riley probably just saved his job.
Yeah. But yeah, Texas. My Hook'em Aggies. What the hell?
It was a fun game. A lot of these bowl games have been been very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Even the ones that you're just casually watching. It kind of like that USC game caught my attention. I was already going to tune into the Iowa State Miami game just because I figured it was going to be 100-something total points, which it almost was. I was shocked that Colorado got absolutely just destroyed by BYU.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that to happen. But yeah, I mean, even out of all the bowl games, obviously me being a BG alumni, Arkansas State and BG playing I thought was fun.
Yeah.
These games are fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the hype of the bowl season going into the CFP kind of helps a little bit. Having all these games right before.
Yeah. What about the spread with Alabama and Michigan? Do you think that's a real thing?
What's it at right now?
It was over 10. It was like 2 scores, 2 touchdowns.
Really?
It was.
Wow.
It was something. I looked at it earlier today, but I'm like, I think Michigan can beat them, but who knows?
If all of Bama's starters play, I think it's a blowout.
Okay.
If they don't, then it gets a little more interesting to me, and I think it's a super, super ugly football game.
Do you think Alabama?
Which Michigan's going to want.
Do you think Alabama looked at the Ohio State game and said, "Yeah, we're not going to do that"?
Probably.
Yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah, don't play like we did. Play like the Buckeyes did against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yes. God.
So
be better than what we did.
Yeah. So you're saying Alabama still beats Michigan any way you look at it.
Yep.
I hope Michigan beats them. I hate to say that, but I hope they beat them.
I know you do. I know. It's fair. It's fair.
Are you rooting for Bama?
I'm hoping it's a good enough game that I can just sit and watch it.
You love sitting on that fence, don't you?
I do. I love it. I live on it. I think if I'm going, like, I usually pick by, like, conference, and obviously I want the Big Ten to win a lot. I just refuse to say I want Michigan to win something. It hurts my brain.
I know.
It hurts.
Yep.
But, yeah, I think pick-em-wise, if I had some money on it, I would go Bama.
And who's I looked at, who's Iowa playing? Iowa's playing. I think they're underdogs, but Iowa can beat. I can't remember who they were playing in their bowl. I can't remember.
Let me find out for you. It's slipped my mind too, so I'll find it. Let's find out. Missouri.
Yeah.
Music City Bowl. Yep, they are underdogs, plus 115. Interesting.
No. Missouri's vulnerable. I mean, I like Mizzou, but again, it's another Big Ten SEC contest, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that barn burner. Jeez. There's some good ones, though. New Year's Eve, there's some very good ones.
Yeah, there are.
You obviously talk about Bama, Michigan. South Carolina, Illinois will be interesting.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the big boy, Penn State, Boise State.
I don't think that's going to be that close, but
I think I may flip my pick. I'm starting to believe in the Smurf turf.
over Penn State.
I'm starting to believe in the Smurf turf.
Well, let me know when you do.
I think I might do it now. I think I'm going to flip it.
Is this a money talking kind of thing too?
Yes, I think so.
Really? Just
I think
to
so.
just to win, or beat the spread?
I think they win.
Really? Are you you're okay? You're bullshitting me.
No, so I was listening to, so I can't remember who it was on the fan, but they just kept bringing up the James Franklin effect. And I'm I'm just like, yeah, this is a massive game. Like, obviously the SMU game is big, but you're playing at home. You're in a comfortable environment.
Yeah.
And this is SMU's first time on a legitimate big stage. Like, this is massive.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ACC championship game is huge, but this is big.
It's a lot bigger than
this
that.
is to get into the Final Four big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what? James Franklin does suck in big games.
But this year he's proving the critics wrong about that.
Yeah, you wiped the floor with a 2-loss SMU team who just didn't belong. Now, record-wise, yes, they belong. They should have been in. That's fine. But they played like a team that didn't belong.
Yeah, and they lost to teams. They lost to top 5 teams again. They lost to Ohio State. They lost to Oregon again.
Exactly.
Like, that's the pattern. But this is not a.
Yep.
I mean, Boise. As much as I like you like your blue guys. They're not those guys.
I can just see, and obviously this is the money talking, because there's just no love on Boise.
Do you think they're looking past Boise?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, and I feel like that's kind of the James Franklin thing. Is just he thinks he's got this swag now, this confidence, because you finally won a big game. You have 2 wins in like 55 big games in your damn career. and we've seen Penn State come out flat.
Yeah.
And just look bad, just look awful.
But they didn't look as bad losing to Ohio State and Oregon as they normally do, losing to bigger teams.
I mean, they didn't score a touchdown against the Buckeyes, and that game was a lot closer than it should have been.
Well,
so I don't think the score really, and I think they played a lot better with Oregon, obviously.
Don't you think Penn State had a lot to do with the fact that it was a close game?
With Ohio State or with Oregon, or both?
With Ohio State.
I think Will Howard, obviously, with that pick 6 helped a lot. I think without that pick 6, that game is a dumpster fire for them. I think would have blown the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
And Oregon's defense let up big time in that Big Ten game. And Penn State came crawling back, and obviously the rest is history. I don't. Gut feeling in me thinks that Penn State comes out flat in a big game.
All right.
And Boise State just plays an ugly football game. Just runs the hell out of the ball. JT gets his 25, 30 touches, and nobody stopped him. Not even the best team in the nation.
Okay.
So I can see maybe you see a legacy game, and everything's been chalk. That's the other thing. All these games have been very, very chalky. The favorites have won.
Mm-hmm.
You can't that can't continue to happen. I refuse to believe it. I think either Arizona State surprises Texas or Boise State surprises Penn State.
Do you think that Ohio State should be the favorite over Oregon?
Absolutely, they should.
Why?
Well, one is Ohio State, so that brings in money like crazy. So, and this is a money thing,
right?
So a lot of people are going to go bet against the spread that Oregon's going to cover this, and that's just Vegas.
Okay.
And obviously the money line, if Oregon's the underdog, you get double your money at minimum. So
but you're
that
saying Ohio
obviously
State
is huge too.
But you're saying Ohio State is a better team and should beat Oregon.
Yes, I think Ohio State is the better team.
And they should beat Oregon.
They should beat Oregon by 7+.
Okay.
If that offense from the Tennessee game showed anything to anybody in the country,
if
Ohio State from that game is the best team in the nation.
Okay, who has the coaching edge, Ohio State or Oregon?
I think right now, with the momentum from Tennessee, I think Day has it. And I think,
Lanning in the second half scares the heck out of me, though.
I was just gonna say, second half Lanning is like is
master.
almost better than second half Buckeyes offense.
Yeah.
Traditionally.
Yeah.
The only thing that gets me, and I was talking to some of our local buddies here.
Yeah.
That layoff is serious for Oregon.
Yeah,
that is
true.
a 3+ week layoff. Ohio State's coming off a very needed, well-deserved blowout win.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this backs against the wall mentality. They're here to prove that they're the best team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Playing an angry Buckeyes team, especially with that defense, I don't want to play Ohio State. Even if I'm not a fan of Ohio State, I don't want to play that team.
Right.
And you're playing in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Buckeyes love the Rose Bowl.
I think it depends. How Will Howard plays is how the Buckeyes play. If Will Howard's on fire, they're going to win. If he does another one of these, why did I throw the ball to those three defenders kind of game, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. So,
Will Howard just looked like a whole other beast last week.
Right.
Looked just phenomenal. And that if we even get half of that, and the running attack continues to be as dominant as it was,
mm-hmm.
all we need is half. That is all we need is a 200-yard, 1 to 2 passing scores game. Let the running game take over. And again, the defense needs to be big too. If you can limit Dylan Gabriel, if you can keep him in the pocket, it is a big if. It's a big if. But he's been turning the ball over. You've seen the last couple of games where he's had a turnover. You capitalize on just one of those, that dictates the game, especially in a game of that magnitude.
Yeah.
With the spread being that close, and this is the second matchup, so adjustments are going to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how conservative Lane's going to play or Ryan Day's going to play?
I think the question is Ryan Day going to be conservative? I don't think
I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope not. I think Laning's going to play aggressive, and he should. He absolutely should.
Ohio State should sling the ball.
Yes. We just play hot.
Play hot.
I don't care if Will Howard throws 2 picks.
Well, I do. But
in the grand scheme of things, say if we lose this game because we're playing too aggressive, and I've said this forever, I think a lot of fans can appreciate the fact that Ryan Day's not playing conservative.
Yeah.
And he's not playing. He's playing to win the game, and he's not playing to not lose. Like he wants to win in a reasonable fashion. If that means, throw the deep ball to Jeremiah like we were doing early on against the Tennessee Volunteers, do it.
Or any of those. We've got too many good receivers not to.
Yep. So if you play aggressive and that's your Achilles heel for that game, like, are we going to be pissed that we lost? Yes, of course we are. But if you actually look at it in the grand scheme of things, Ryan Day played aggressive. Chip Kelly called an aggressive game.
Yeah, it wasn't Michigan.
Yeah, it wasn't like Michigan where we just looked like absolute dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
We played to be one of the highest scoring offenses in the nation.
Yeah.
That you can live with that if you articulate it and you kind of break it down the way that a lot of these analysts or even like kind of what we do. Like if you look at it from quarter to quarter, play to play, like okay, like that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Is it sting? Of course it stings, but there's a different mentality if you play it that way.
Mm-hmm. And man, we got to get a better kicker next year. Oh man.
Yeah, the special teams is special.
Yeah, special. Yeah, I got you.
It's bad, man. It's real bad.
I'm going 45-42 Buckeyes over Oregon. What do you got?
I'm gonna go 38-35 Buckeyes.
38-35. Similar, just like one step down, right? A 3-point game, huh? You think it's one of those last possession games? Mm-hmm. So who has?
Yep. I believe they'll win by 7+, but me being somewhat conservative on it, I think it's a close game, last possession sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question that is not a fair question. Who will have the ball at the end of the game?
I think Buckeyes will.
Yeah. I think they're running.
History always repeats itself somehow, and I feel like Will Howard will get his chance to redeem himself.
Yeah. So it could be another last-second field goal attempt kind of thing.
Yep. I feel like game's tied. Will Howard's driving the ball, and they were. I mean, in the last game, they were driving the ball.
They were
looking good. Will Howard played great.
Ran out of
that
time.
last drive. Just needed another second, even though if you review the video, he starts his slide. We should have had a second left. But I digress.
Yeah, Okay. So we're definitely looking forward to the first of the year and beyond. Anything else before we sign out here?
Go Boise State. Go Sun Devils. Give me some chaos.
Yeah, you love it.
Just give me the utter chaos. Go Notre Dame. Let's see Notre Dame beat Georgia. Oh, God, I would love it. I would love if all those underdogs won and then the Buckeyes pull it out.
Is Notre Dame still an underdog, even with Georgia?
I think they're favored now. I think last I looked, they're favored.
I think with Beck being out, it could be not a cakewalk. But
Beck's out for the entire CFP. That's wild.
Yeah, he got banged up.
If I'm a Georgia fan, you just got shot in the heart. Ugh.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to everybody soon. Bye.